Now at noon, during a weather impact alert, the nonstop effort to bring power back to thousands. Plus in the gorge, new uncertainty after storm damage forces the closure of one of the only clinics in the area. Also, we check in up at government camp, where we're finally seeing snowfall after a delayed start to ski season. And later, frustration among people in Washington who say their city leaders didn't do enough to stop floodwater damage. And our top story continues to be the ongoing storm system over the Portland metro area that's brought a flood watch with it. Thanks very much for joining us at noon. I'm Tim Gordon, and with me is meteorologist Chris McGinnis. Chris, it's been a doozy. How much rain so far?
About a little over half an inch at the airport, about 2/3 of an inch down towards Salem. And the rain intensity, well, that doesn't sound overly impressive for the first, 8-10 hours of our day today. We do expect the rainfall rates to pick up. And actually, over the last couple of scans of radar, I've been watching closely some of these yellows and oranges out in the Oregon Coast Range. These are more indicative of rainfall rates that are getting up towards 4 to 5/10 of an inch, a half an inch per hour. That's what we're seeing right now out in portions of Lincoln and Tillamook counties in the Coast Range. You work your way out into like Washington County, those rainfall rates drop off, but still significant at about 2 to 2/25 of an inch of rain per hour. That's more than what we've had at PDX so far. So what that tells me is that the rainfall intensity is going to slowly start ratcheting up here as we go through the next few hours. And that was expected. That was the prediction. Hence the flood watch here from Longview south to Eugene and from the Cascades west to the Pacific through the day on Saturday. So again, be prepared for valley rainfall. Total cumulative rainfall on the order of anywhere from 1.5 inches to the north to about 3 inches to the south. You need to avoid flooded roadways, watch for standing water. You also need to watch for slides because we are back into the weather pattern that we start loading hillsides with more water. Saturated soils could easily cause some more slides. All right, here's where we're at with rainfall so far. Again, it's not overly impressive, certainly a wet day so far, but we're going to tack on a lot more than this before we're done. Knocking on the door of 3/4 of an inch down in Salem, a little over a half an inch at PDX, and about a half an inch on the dot right now in Kelso. Here's a look at Salem, by the way. The breeze starting to pick up to the south at 18 miles an hour. It's 53 in Salem. At PDX out at the airport right now, we're still in the low 40s with an east breeze, but that breeze will swing around abruptly. The wind's going to pick up, and so we do need to watch out for that as well with that increasing wind this afternoon. Rain does diminish overnight tonight, but again, not before we pick up a solid 2 inches, I think, plus here in Portland. The temperature is also warming later today as that south wind kicks in. Temperatures will warm up to the mid-50s, which is another reason that those snow levels are increasing. I can tell you this right now, Tim, you showed and talked about snow at government camp. It is now raining up at Timberline. So the snow levels were down low. They have now risen. They will eventually drop, but not until tomorrow. More on that in just a few minutes.
So much to keep track of. Thanks, Chris. In the last couple of hours, PGE held a press conference to update us on their efforts restoring power in the metro area after more than 100,000 people lost power yesterday. Thomas Schultz joins us live. And Thomas, what do they have to say?
Yeah, Tim, a PGE spokesperson tells us that crews are working around the clock to restore power across the Portland metro area. Over the past day, they've restored power to around 100,000 homes so far. Wednesday morning, more than 120,000 PGE customers were without power, according to the company's power outage map. John Farmer, a PGE spokesperson, says the biggest challenge they've encountered is just how widespread damage is across our area. Yesterday, we saw fallen trees and downed power lines in southeast Portland, as well as north and northwest. PGE says the rest of the metro area in Salem was hard hit too. And all day today, of course, as Chris just mentioned, we're expecting pretty heavy rainfall, which could lead to more problems like downed trees and power lines. Farmer says PGE is watching the storm closely and has also increased staffing this week to help restore power and prep for today's storm.
We're monitoring it. We are ready for it. We've got a lot of crews both out in the field and incoming, ready to go. And so we're going to be ready to respond to whatever Mother Nature throws at us.
And right now, according to PGE's power outage map, there's around 12,000 people still without power. That's a big drop, Tim, from yesterday when more than 120,000 people in our area didn't have any power. Tim?
All right, we're getting there. Thomas, thanks very much. And PGE's power outage map shows several people still without power there, with a big drop from more than 120,000 power outages reported. Thanks again. As we mentioned, here's a live look at the outage maps. Right now, PGE is reporting Here's the number: more than 12,000 customers without power. Pacific Power also reporting about 1,400 Oregon customers without electricity. And in Clark County, Clark Public Utilities is reporting nearly 2,000 customers without power. Well, yesterday's weather forced many schools to close and delay start times or even let students out early. One of those schools was West Sylvan Middle School, which released students early after losing power around 9 in the morning. Parents we talked with weren't surprised by that early release.
There's only so much you can do with a school full of a couple hundred kids or 600 kids, whatever it is, with no power. I mean, I'm surprised they made it this far, frankly.
If they're running on backup power, I think the best bet is just to send the students home. I mean, Christmas break is going to be in 3 more days anyhow, so I mean, what's another day or two?
And they weren't the only ones impacted. In Beaverton, Raleigh Park, Bethany, and Vos elementary schools lost power Wednesday morning. One of the biggest examples of the damage we saw from yesterday's weather happened out in the Dalles, where strong winds tore off a large chunk of the roof at a medical facility. No one was hurt, but Wasco County commissioners have declared a state of emergency. That's due to downed trees and road closures, along with damage at that facility, which thousands of people rely on. Water's Edge Medical Facility generally serves up to 175 people per day. Though for now, it's closed after a Wednesday morning storm, and it's unclear when it will reopen as they look to find an alternative location to see some patients.
We didn't truly understand the total estimate of damage until we actually walked through the building later in the day and realized the severe damage both structurally and to the roof.
Thompson says during the storm there were 3 patients and 1 employee inside the clinic. Everyone was able to evacuate safely before fire crews arrived. We've got some breaking news out of North Carolina, and it's sad news. Retired NASCAR driver Greg Biffle, who grew up in Clark County, has died in a plane crash, according to sources close to his family. This happened around 10:15 Eastern Time at the Statesville Regional Airport. That's about 45 miles north of Charlotte. Flight records show the Cessna C550 was registered to a company run by Biffle. CNN is reporting 6 people, including the pilot, were killed in that crash. The FAA is now investigating. Biffle graduated from Camas High School back in 1988 and raced in the Northwest Stock Car short track circuit, including races at Portland Speedway. Let's bring you a live look now at Timberline Lodge in the snow, and they got about 6 inches of it before it turned over. Yeah, as expected, has turned back over to rain. Ideally, Timberline and other ski spots on Mount Hood would have opened last month, maybe around Thanksgiving. But 1 week from Christmas, we are still waiting for that to happen. It's been a disappointing start to the season that's not only cost skiers excitement, but businesses their profits. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson has the latest on what we're seeing there.
Right now, we're at the rest area here at Government Camp where the power is currently out. Residents tell us the power has been out since last night, and it's created some difficulty as we deal with the snowy conditions. Now, again, the power is currently down at the rest area. PGE trucks have pulled in and out of this area, but no change yet to the situation as of 9 this morning. We've also seen quite a few snow trucks make multiple passes at the roadway, cars driving slowly to make sure they make it to their destinations pretty safe this morning. The snowfall measurable this morning as well. We stuck a 5-inch pin in the snow at about 7 a.m. and you can see only the tip of the pin is showing right now. Now, as of noon, we're expected to get 6 inches of snowfall. Now, it's not ideal for people who are driving in it, of course, but the snow is definitely a welcome sight for skiers. This has been a slow start to the ski season, which typically opens on November 16th. And because it's been such a slow start, it's had an impact on business here at Timberline as well. And this is a similar story to what we saw 2 years ago with the delayed season due to the lack of snow. Here at the Mountain Pass, one truck driver heading from Portland to Sun River Bend told us this morning he decided to turn around because of the snowy conditions.
It's been fine until we got about 8 miles down the road and it's just slip and ice and there's like no traffic coming through here. I'd like to make it home tonight, and I don't know if continuing is going to do that. So
now 6 inches of snow is expected to reach this area by noon, and then it's going to turn to rain. But snow levels are set to return again through the end of Christmas as we get into tomorrow. Back to you.